Do not misapply pressure to the boner. The boner must be respected. The boner must be crushed. The boner must be shredded. The boner must be pounded. The boner must be decimated. The boner must be obliterated. The boner must be devastated. Hi, I'm Chris. I'm Vangelus. I'm hosting the stream today, and we're gonna pop a fist right into the heart of this little green boner that I got in front of me. But before we do, I'm gonna just go up here and say hello to Tonbot and Shia and Adamus Prime and GD Slalom and Sideswipe Prime and you, Axsmith, and Cliff. And Long was here, and Chris Muse, and Isaiah, and Griff. I lost my spot. It jumped. Where'd it go? And Cursed Key, and Timu, and Master Ben, and Eve Tronia, and Mischievous Turtle, and Scorp. When the 4 health Bone Crusher card dies immediately after losing the coin toss, that is when you truly pulverize the boner. Hello to Pause. I saw a couple things. Number one, to those of you suffering from the weather, my condolences and sympathies and empathies. It's too humid and hot today. I went out today and I regretted it. I was too wet afterwards. But I'm doing better now. Also, I saw we got... Oh, where was it? Where Long was here is box shredding an Omega Prime. Holy hell. That's a little bit more impressive than mine. What else we got going on? Cursed Key just finished building the HG Choryujin. I've heard that kit is really solid. I've heard it's more fun in the aftermath than the Soul of Chogokin as well. So, anyway, we're back down to the. Yeah, here we go. Astromotive, hello. Logos, hello. John Thomas Jones, Box of Bones. Picky Peas, hi. Yeah, we're gonna open my favorite little screwed up little guy in a funny looking onesie. So I got a little story about this. So I got a call from GameStop, and I answered it, and as they started to say, "Your deluxe," I was like, "Soulless? Finally?" They said, "Bone Crusher," and I was like, yeah, I'll be buying like in the next day or two. So when I got there, I basically was like, hey, can I cancel my Soulless and Prima and Megatronus pre-orders and put their $5 down payments onto Bone Crusher? And they said yes. So Bone Crusher cost me, in person, to present me, the only one who really matters, $17 and some cents. Because Megatronus is never coming back to GameStop Canada. Soulless is probably gone forever from GameStop Canada, because they're weird. And then Prima had the date moved to while I'm at the toy show out west, and then when I got home, Prima was in stock on their website. Looked like the same thing that happened with Soulless, where he's in stock on the website. Mine never shows up. I just assume. So I'm like, whatever, it's wave 1. I'll get them eventually. This way, less things to think about. Do I intend on getting Wild King? Not right now. If someone, like, just gives me review samples of them, then hell yeah. But I cannot fit that in remotely with the other things I'm more interested in purchasing right now. But it looks very cool, and I think it's going to be fun to take a look at them. By the way, if you want to think a little bit more about concepts like thinking that toys are cool and not buying them, you should check out that stream I did with M. Cypher recently, or any of the panel series, because that's one of the concepts that I was touting during the one with TJ at TFCon LA. Do I still collect Magic Square? Off and on if I can. But, you know, I can't really, with full mental health happiness, like, plot out months and years, well, months and or a full year of purchases. So all of it is just, whatever happens, happens. We just play it by ear. Yeah, I got a boner for 17 Canadian dollars if you ignore the part where I actually did, in the long run, pay for the whole thing. But that was all past Chris Vangelus, who's dead now. And so he doesn't really matter, because it's me, present Chris Vangelus, who's the important one. The last 3 guys for Rex Kaiser just came out. Oh, dang. I kind of thought that was good, because this is the same company. I thought that was going to maybe, like, wait a month. Because they just dropped, like, what was it, Sky Gallop and Flame Nova and Blast Train and the 2 little ones to finish off Cardbot Season 2. How was your day? Ben Walters, thanks for asking. Weird. I went to sleep early last night because I was exhausted from taking a really long walk in the somewhat heated humidity. And then I went to sleep before midnight and then woke up just before 3 in the morning, unable to fall back asleep. So I gave up and just decided to roll with my day. Around 1 p.m., I managed to successfully take a 15-minute nap. So we're surviving. According to the block universe theory of spacetime, past Vangelus still physically exists. Listen, you don't know how much I have forced Theseus'd these meats and these bones, alright? But, you know, that's TOS, I can't show you. Yeah, the last of the Rex Kaiser folks, like, one of them goes on the body, but then the other 2 are just kind of a weapon. And it sounds like they're all supposed to combine with the carrier unit thing that they showed, like, recently. I can't remember precisely how all that worked out. Oh yeah, Lee, hello. I actually had some pain waking. I had the top of my palate felt like I had been punched in the palate when I woke up, and it kind of hurt to swallow for like a couple hours, and it was really annoying. I have been like running my AC a lot more to not drown in my own sweat while I'm asleep, and I think that it's like I need to drink way more water before I go to sleep, I think, because it's like drying out the inside of my head. I don't know. This is biology, right? Where are the friggin' settings? Devs? Where's my goddamn, what do you call it? QOL, quality of life update. So I can just set my sliders and not have to, like, friggin' play science with an air conditioner and then pay, like, $150 for hydro or whatever. Anyway, yeah, my nap, I've been getting, I did this once before, a week ago. Yeah, a week ago. I was able to take a 30-minute nap. Because now whenever I get tired and want to lie down, I'm like, I'm gonna set the annoying ding-a-ling-a-ling alarm on my phone as a 30-minute timer. This time a 15-minute timer. And then when it goes off, I will just see what happens. And this time, the 15 minutes, I felt like I slept for half an hour within those 15 minutes because I know I lost consciousness. And so I actually felt okay when I, like, forced myself to sit up. And I was like, all right. I'm, like, teaching my body how to do the restful human nap that you're supposed to do that tops out at 30 minutes, if I remember right. So it's something lower than 3 hours. Or 8 hours. Anyway, yeah, there's lots of funny things happening, eh? Ha 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 ha. But you know what else is funny? Because I'm going to remember to do this from now on. The coupon code is pretty Mother Vangelus? Huh? What do you think that means? It means... Because Mother's Day was... and my mom is cool, and my name is Vangelus. That's why that's the code. Anyway, if you happen to be buying things off Toy Hacks, and you use this code, you save 15%, and I get fed by the machine. Well, I am the machine. Something feeds me. An arm comes out of my monitor and shoves sustenance into my biology. I can't show you that because, terms of service. Excuse me. But yeah, if you would like to call me a Mother Vangelus, you can this month and save 15%. And then if you want to be really cool, then you can, like, look me in the eye and say, "Thank you, Mother." So that's one thing I want to share. Also, Alex in the Discord. I should probably hang on. Let me pull up the image. Let me first pull up this stupid image that I made. So I in the Discord, the stream got shown as a thing that's going to happen, and then I was so proud of the thumbnail that I just sort of replied to my own stream posting, and then replied to myself about how great my thumbnail is. So I was just feeling good because I was able to get that hard hat to go to lay over the Joker's head pretty darn decently, and you can't tell just how many bits and pieces of white pixels are still in there from the Magic Select. However, Alex in the Discord then proceeded to reply to this with something beautiful, and I wanted to share that. We're having a good time over here. Oh, by the way, in that other one, before I go back to this, the little reaction down there. So, first, here's the auto post, then here's me posting right afterwards, then here's me replying to myself, then this 506 number 1 is the one who then left this reaction. So this is all, no other humans but me were involved in all these postings, reaction included. Anyway, Alex's image is a million times more impressive. By the way, you don't need Photoshop. I don't have it. I got Krita, Krita. It means, it's got, like, different shaped buttons, but I have found Krita does all of the nonsense garbage posting things I need it to do, and it's not Adobe, and it's, like, free. So that's what I've been using on both Windows and Mac. I don't know if Krita has, like, some kind of, like, weird, I don't know if there's any backstory to it I'm unaware of, but it's quite functional. And its Magic Select seems about as good as Photoshop CS6's. Yeah, I used to use GIMP too, but when I was trying to, because my CS6 Student Edition from like a decade ago finally stopped working on my Windows machine, so I was trying to look up, like, there have to be alternatives because everyone hates Adobe now, and Krita was the one I saw. Oh, hey, Ruby, yeah, you use Krita for drawing. Yeah, I find it's quite functional for picture editing. Oh, Krita. I don't know, Krita. I got the European in me. Yeah, some of the tools aren't going to be, like, fully Adobe powerful, but, like, for free, it's close enough. You got back from being at Target. Well, welcome back. Yeah, like Adobe, like Adobe is always going to funnel tons of power into like algorithmic, like, and non-derogatory algorithmic tools. Like, I say algorithmic, a thing that needs some computer brains to work, like a Magic Select. But Krita's Magic Select, sometimes it's pretty smart. I've been surprised by it. Sometimes it's a Magic Select. So sometimes it's like, hey, I've also selected the shadows all across your face and body. But as it happens. Yeah, you also aren't signing up for the friggin' Adobe payment plan, mafia BS. Not anyway. I have if you're using Adobe, I don't dislike. It's fine. Adobe is powerful software, but I'm very fortunate that I have never been ensnared in their subscription service. In my opinion, I feel quite fortunate in that regard. The only downside is I have very little experience with Premiere and After Effects, but I had a decent amount of work off of Final Cut instead. Again, very fortunately, because that's where I was comfortable. And now that I'm like trying to find more projects, it feels like people are also kind of like, hey, we all kind of hate Adobe now. Because yeah, Adobe software's fine. It's just like it's irritating to me at least. Yeah, I had a CS6. I think CS6 was the last Creative Suite before they went subscription, and I had a version of. But then CS6, like one computer ago, it had trouble dealing with the resolution my Windows PC was at, and then the next computer, it was like I can't even install on here or open anymore, and I was like, okay, well. Oh yeah, so if your company already paid for an Adobe thing, then whatever, use it. And in fact, abuse it. Use it for all kinds of other things. Why not? End of the day, the software you use is not as important as the skill set you have. But also, if you can avoid using things like Adobe's software suites, I think it will save you a little bit of personal trouble in the long run of having to detangle yourself from all that stuff. Yeah, okay, Ruby, you hung on to CS6 for ages too. Yeah, my CS6, I installed it onto like my Mac and my PC, and it, like on the Mac it stopped working faster, sadly. But yeah, there's that, and then I will just switch us over to the desktop view because we got a little boner to pick, to punch, to smash. Adobe Photo Deluxe 1.0 until 2004. Hell yeah. Lee, you use Fire Alpaca for drawing in digital inks. I don't know that one. But that's, now that I've said it out loud, hopefully someone has written it down. And been like, Fire Alpaca? It's not the size, it's the personality. Yeah! I've only looked at this little guy in his box. This little guy has like some, I think he's got personality. A G1 Bone Crusher is such a weird little freak. I'm also pleasantly surprised by the voluminous factor of this little guy in 3 dimensions. Oh, I should also say, the green looks awful as you see it. The green looks great to me in person, but it is a lot of the actual green hue has washed out in the webcam. So, he probably looks very pale, if not slightly like yellowish in what you're seeing, or maybe not yellowish but olive-ish. Anyway, he looks good in person green wise. I don't know why it's not like carrying. I tried messing with the exposure a little bit. I didn't want to mess with the color balance because there's limitations to how much that can go wrong with my current experience with OBS and my webcams. So, I apologize for, his sickly appearance. Just bear in mind, and if anyone comes in late and brings it up, feel free to tell them, like, his green looks way worse on stream than it does in person. G2 version teaser. Did we feed the machine? Hopefully. Oh, Fire Alpaca is free and Japanese, and there's a paid version. Okay. I like it when there's, like, a usable free version and then a paid version if you're, like, moving into pro work that could use its extra features. Oh, Aaron, there's that light green to yellow to creamsicle orange. It just doesn't photo well unless you push the numbers hard. Yeah, this green also, like, I had to turn the exposure down a bit on my DSLR because it was just blasting to, like, to near white, because it's very it's if you've watched my reviews of the Combiner Wars and Unite Warriors Devastators, you'll note that like those reviews have very strange exposure settings because like those toys are so light reactive. Clip that. I mean, hey, clip everything. Oh, none of the features are paywalled. Hell yeah. Alright. It's Titan Returns Blur all over again. Yeah, that little guy, I spotted him actually. I didn't realize I had him over here the whole time. I wonder how he looks on stream. Oh, wait, no, this is Studio Series 86 Blur. Titan's Return Blur is elsewhere. Never mind, I don't have him nearby. How's this little guy look, though? Does he look normal? Okay, he looks accurate. It's so weird. Like, this blue looks like the blue that he is. Anyway. I say it's so weird. I'm well aware of a lot of the microsciences involved. Oh, what's up? No. He does look kind of jaundiced on camera, yeah. But maybe this window's doing something too. Before I continue, I did want to also point out, maybe you already know these things, but just for funsies, here's Devastator 2 of 6. I believe this is the only one that says of 6 that we know of, because I believe Scrapper says 1 of 5. So, demonstrably, this packaging graphic layout was done before they had settled on the Commander 2-pack, or settled on maybe it's less confusing if the Commander 2-pack is referred to as 1 rather than 2. Camera needs to get good. Ooh. Speaking of clips, I want to let you know I made a great clip out of your illicit Vietnamese bot stream. Ooh! Like in the YouTube system clip? Because then I can go look it up later. If it's like you took a video and then like reposted it, then like you'd need to like send me a link somehow. But if you use the clip system in YouTube, I can see when y'all clip things. And I have fun looking at that stuff sometimes. It makes me feel all fuzzy. But also here is the very funny Devastator art, where he doesn't have an abdomen. They're going for a certain pose here, but it sort of just comes off like he doesn't have an abdomen. It's pretty funny. And then the Bone Crusher art in, the fullest view is at an angle. This looks fine. They gave him very full lips in the art, which I think is very funny. And they really highlighted how messed up his forehead looks. But that's Bone Crusher accurate. That's what we want out of our funny little green onesie man. What else is there on here? There's a little lift-up flap. Is he supposed to be super hunched? Yeah, I think that's what they're going... Like, you can see it. They're trying to go for the, bent forward, like he's coming in with a shoulder check kind of thing. But then, the way they did the foreshortening just makes it look like he's a crotch and then a chest, which is... I think it's very funny. I also pointed out, because it's funny-looking art, as far as I have yet to be convinced that this is, generative art. I still maintain this is just, kind of... just... I don't want to say crummy-looking art, because I don't think it's really fallen into crummy. But it's unimpressive art to many... It looks like... This is also mean. I was going to say it looks like intern art. I think it may have been, built on top of a pose with the CAD model, which is fine. Tracing is fine. But, yeah, it's very funny-looking if you, look too much at, at what happened with his poor foreshortening there. And then, they took all the color out of the Transformers the Movie logo because, 2025, austere as possible. So this is just it's just like a pitch black transparency now. Bone Crusher battles the Autobots in Autobot City on Earth. I can barely see Bone Crusher there. And what's funny is Bone Crusher has a line. He straight up has a line. A big line. Who are you calling inferior? And a big close-up of him saying it. If I remember right, isn't Bone Crusher one of the ones who, very clearly shoots at people in the shuttle, too? There are good pictures. There's good still cell images of Bone Crusher from Transformers the Movie. But, remember Devastator? But yeah, like I'm not mad about the I just make fun of the packaging since it went so austere. But I just think it's hilarious that like even because this was always like orange and kind of like orange to yellow to magenta almost, right, on the previous SS86 packages, and now it's just like a cutout. They use that picture for scrappers. Yeah, I expect this is just the Constructicons picture. It's funny because like most of the picture is like 2 Dinobots, and then like a very awkward looking Devastator. They had the opportunity to do something funny with Scavenger. Oh yeah, that'd be fun. But yeah, you know, we're in an era of like, and also like, you know, this image here, I believe this is still a CAD model, so like you get a better look at the toy by doing this. So you know, trying to navigate whatever it is that is being like handed down from yay on high and translated to departments and etc. Either way, we are gonna just try to pummel our way into this window because we disrespect the window. Ooh, I got a good one. Look at that. Yeah. Pulverize that stupid thing. Yeah. Oh, this will prevent anyone from stealing it. Yeah, what if you just use your fists and your strength? Breaking and entering. Hell yeah, Griff. Also, I will say, by the way, just to call out Child Safety QC, it didn't take me long to do this, and these feel incredibly sharp and pokey. Like, doing this has hurt my knuckles. So, like, whatever happened to the drop test, Hasbro, or should I say Hasbro? Ah. Hey, he's taller than I thought. I thought his feet were gonna, like, stop here. I don't know what that's... Because of his arms looking so funny, for some reason I thought his feet were gonna, like, be here. Cypher, what's up? I am removing the protective plastic from the boner. You might have just missed it. I actually punched a comical, like, smash line through the window. And, just again, to call out child safety standards, this feels incredibly sharp and pokey, and I could probably cut blood out of myself with it. So, like, your move, Crispy Cox. Long was here, correct. No QC testing on the packaging? Lazy. Coulda cut myself. Lazy. Getting cut as a child builds character, true. Oh, Matt, hello. I got a question. Are the 3-0 Ultraman figures like Taro worth getting? I have the... Did I review... I think I reviewed the first one, and I liked that one, if I remember correctly, but I haven't handled any of them since, so I genuinely don't know. If the quality line, like, maintained, and you like the designs, then they should be pretty solid. He almost looks tan here. Yeah, this I don't know what's happening. Like, like, you know, it looks like he's bouncing lots of light. I can tell you with my naked eye, he looks a lot darker than he does on camera. I'm gonna, now that he's out of the window, I'm gonna try this. But, like, I tried this before and it just looked so dark. If I turn the exposure down one more blip. Like, I don't think this is helping much, but, you know, you let me know. I guess it's less blinding. He looks so desaturated now. That's so weird. How does it look on Facecam? Redacted is how it looks on Facecam. No, it looks about as washed out on Facecam. The blue might be doing something. We'll see once I get him out of here, I guess. Oh, I hate these plastic ties so much. They so ugly. I don't think this is helping much. And now he's just yellow, but in the shade. Well, I think, like, it felt, at least it looked on my OBS monitor, like he was actually maybe a little painful to look at before. But I can turn it back up if people would like. I couldn't get the tissue paper is still bound to the package, but I got the bits out. This is cute. I appreciate that, like, we as a fandom community are all like, whatever. Why are we like going full landfill with like plastic ties and what about plastic window paper ties? Secret satchel. I'm touched by how many people prefer the paper ties, because, like, you know, all due respect to we the collector community, but like the collector community tends to be very landfill oriented, and like, no, I want plastic boxes and plastic windows and die-cast tape, and so like everyone going like, no, actually we like the more ecologically friendly paper ties. It's like, hell yeah. But also, yes, they were more fun. You could kind of have a good tactile time untying them. Styrofoam inserts! Oh, he just look like right here. This looks blinding to me, but are y'all cool with this? Or do you want me to turn it down? Like, this looks... Maybe I can turn this away a little bit. Okay, it's a bit better now. That looked like a flashbang to me on the OBS monitor. It's fine. Okay. Or yeah, turn it down. Well, what about now? What about now? So let's get this bopped down a little lower. I'm gonna just see what they want me to do out of the box, because he clearly has some stuff going. Okay, yeah, there's like a whole thing with that block. I saw Valkysis, he said the block is hard to remove once it's on. I mean, I'm fine just leaving the block on. To me, that's just part of his physiology. Yeah, it's like a T-bar. Oh, that gets really tight really fast. Holy moly. Oh, wow. I might... You know, I might... I might just make this easier on myself. Let's just give that a little strip, a little stripe. Let's give it a little dash of the old chocolate oil. That was really... See if this helps a little bit. That seemed a bit much. That still seems a bit much. Or is this supposed to, like, clip in? Because, like, I can wipe the shock oil off later. There we go. That was 100 times easier to put on. Okay, thank goodness. And then we fold that back. Now we got our little boner boy. Oh, what product is that? Yeah, no, this is shock. This is actually some very old shock oil. It's there's a bunch of different weights. 80 weight is the one that everyone suggested for SH Fig Arts about 10 years ago, and I have found that this stuff is very helpful for overly tight joints. Use a little, like, get a little paintbrush or a couple cheap, you know, from a Michaels or something or whatever place that sells cheap paintbrushes. Because I just have like a little cheap paintbrush from Curry's. I only use it for oil and for varnish now, and you can just brush it on. And, you know, use less than more, obviously. But because this stuff, especially this stuff, it won't have an effect sometimes immediately, but if you put just a little, like, blip into, like, a rotating thing that's super tight, and then you move it a couple times, it'll, like, spread it around. Yeah, to pause, it's the good old factory Team 80 weight. And yeah, one bottle of this will, like, if you're using it for toys and not actual tiny motors, this will, like, last you basically for life. I find it's this plus, this is the loosener, this is the tightener. And so these two in tandem are the ways I do it. Yeah, you can also use a toothpick. I have found a brush is just like, I just find it's better in almost every sense. At least control-wise for me. But, like, I used a toothpick for years and years, so this is the stuff. I'll put it over here so you can keep seeing it. Yeah, no, this stuff, like, should not melt your... I would say the only place to be careful with this is with softer plastics like PVC that already have, like, a certain level of absorbency and plasticizer to them. This might get a little bit messy, weird, but I'm not speaking from experience, I'm just speaking from hypothesis. I would say this is much more recommended for, like, stiffer plastics like ABS or nylons. Lano Joe, this is the opposite of floor polish. So you do not want to... This has actually happened before. So I know I read this years ago where someone accidentally put this into a loose joint. And this does the opposite. This makes joints smoother and more flowy. For floor polish, I would say this right now. I prefer gloss varnish. I know that Gwunky has a bucket of, like, the base goop that is in this stuff, but, like, in most cases you can get, like, one of these for, like, $2. And I found this does everything floor polish did, but, like, a little bit nicer and with a little bit more control. But yeah, don't put shock oil into joints that are already loose, because then you have a whole bunch of, like, brand new repair work to do. All right, how's this guy? I've heard these. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. This hip feels great, and this hip is just just a big. Look at the pair of balls on this guy. Like those are. Oh, and they got the little He's got the little mini grippers inside the socket that I think Verspringen had talked about a stream or two ago on another toy. I can see the little grippers are inside the socket on these too. Yeah, just big fat juicy ball joints. So yeah, I've heard, like, basically that that unclicks. I've heard the hand feel on the aerial bots and Scrapper are, like, opinion changing for some folks, so I was kind of anticipating this feeling pretty good. And yeah, this guy's just like a bunch of, like, those big ball joints all over the place. I love the head sculpt so much, and he's such a weirdo. Look at him. It's a bummer that he his waist is like, well, actually, you could get away with this for a photo, but it doesn't feel great. But yeah, this thing tabs into there. So it locks his waist because of his funny bone crusher thing. Could there have been a waist swivel down here? Not that I can see without a much rinky-dinkier and smaller pair of balls. So I get it. Ball joints are back, baby! Yeah, no, I kind of get it. Like, he's very goofy, but I don't know how to explain this. Maybe you can see it when I hold him like this. He's not thicker or girthier. He's just more voluminous than he appears in photographs. Like here he is with the little SS86 Bumblebee. Chris Muse, I think you asked how this little guy's treating me, like, a couple weeks later. I love him. I actually filmed half of his review footage just for fun. Just all the robot mode B-roll, and I need to actually like do an articulation segment and transformation, and also actually write a script for him. But hey, look, they're both the same price point. something discourse. Oh no, Turtle, you got dust storm happening. Yeah, stay safe. We got funny weather. We got funny weather today, don't we? It's a funny Friday today, isn't it? Is the head movement good? Oh yeah, the head movement's pretty great, I think. What is coming? Okay, that's not coming loose. Never mind. So the tab in is down here. So the shovel doesn't actually attach to anything up here, so it might look like it's loose, but it's not come loose. It just, that's how it sticks and vaguely hovers. But yeah, the head movement, I think because of the transformation hinge, you can get him to, like, you know, his jaw will get in the way sometimes. But it's not a ball socket. So, there's no, like, cocksure tilt, which is a bummer. But especially with the big balls, I think you can get some pretty decent-looking walking poses like this, where it just looks like he's got a stiff back, and then, hey, you look at his back, and he's got a whole friggin' hunky thing there. So, hey, dude's got a heavily calloused spine. He also has a gun. I forgot about it. Bone Crusher with a gun is kind of like, hey, you know, is he ever even going to use it? I don't know. I always think of Bone Crusher as a guy who's like, oh yeah, the gun, I throw that at someone before I punch them. Also, here he is with Vortex, a useless size comparison to most of you, I realized after I pulled Vortex over here, but for those of you from Ontario who got one of them, here's what he looks like next to Vortex. That's his caulking gun, true. No trumpet. No, they gotta leave something for the DNA design folks, right? Ilker Sunmez, you're flying to Tokyo tomorrow. Any collector-related tips? Adam Bill Moo, I believe, was just recently in that area this year, and might have a couple tips for you. Obviously, you know, go check out Yodobashi Camera and Mandarake outlets. Like those are some top spots to just see piles of toys. Also, I like the ankle tilts. I love Bone Crusher's weird, like, solid green coverall appearance. Like, there's something about it that just makes me happy. So I like it that they've leaned in enough to have this be, you know, fully bent and twistable little treadlets. Scorp, you were there last year too. Yeah. These are folks who have more knowledge than me now, because my knowledge is still based on 07 and 08. That's a while ago. Oh, Chris Muse, you guys got it in Nova Scotia, too. Okay, hell yeah. Oh, yeah, another size comparison that might be of use. Here he is with Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime. Obviously, you know, two different size classes, so it's going to look a bit stranger. But for those who wanted to see, like, the proportions next to each other, you know, here's how it looks. Yeah, no, because on Unite Warriors, they added the purple stripes on the sides, and I'm like, you are defiling the purity of his coveralls! Boner has a longer torso. Yeah, Optimus has got that, like, that Gundam squatness in the upper body. Oh, nice, Chris. You were able to have a chance at both of them, at least. Mischievous Turtle, welcome back. I'm going to try to turn this little guy into a bulldozer, because I assume that I could figure this out. I already noticed when I was folding his little... Oh, by the way, you can do this, which I think is... I like this, too, because it's like, hey, Bone Crusher, it's raining. I don't care! I just think this is adorable. Anyway, I noticed that he also had, like, a green paint on the back of his head, so I'm assuming that enters into things. Stuck standing in the sun mode. I still have not handled any of the aerial bots, but, like, I'm amazed how many people, especially folks who were cold on them visually, have said, like, the hand feel made up for it. And I'm like, dang, because they look pretty simple. But, and obviously not everyone's saying it, but enough people are saying it where I'm like, I would like to get a hold of some aerial bots, ideally for the cheap. Oh, that's neat. Alright, there's a hinge here. Yeah, I felt this hinge. It's a shame it goes that way, because that could almost be a double hinge. Is it a double hinge for the transformation? It is. Hey, look what I discovered! It's weird that it's in reverse. I'm sure there is some, like, related aesthetic reason. Oh, also, yeah, the ball socket shoulder allows that to curl that way for the geometries. That's some interesting tricks for the arms. It's like, it's a simple arm transformation, but everything's backwards. Oh, that's cool. So this forms a new slot for this little, like, guiding tab to... Oh, actually, kind of clips in a little... No, it doesn't clip in, but it has a bit of a... little bit of a tactile to it. That's not bad. And then this is... Okay, this is obviously for combined mode. I know that I've seen... Yeah, there's like a... There's a thingy there! And it tabs into that. What on earth? It's gonna have a combined mode or something? Anyway. I'll take it easy, Ilker. Have a good trip. Yeah, there's some slots for those tabs. Ooh, can I put this? Ooh, I like this. Ooh, 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 ooh. Does this? Yeah, this. So this is a tab and then a slot on here, and then a slot and then a couple tabs here. Hee hee hee. There's so many hinges. What is the biblically accurate position on the... I don't know. Mom! Oh, here we go. Oh, hey, Kaylee. Yeah, this green, I earlier on in the stream, I kind of went on about it for a while. This green looks terrible on the stream, and it looks great in person, and you know, that sometimes just happens with the way that colors are represented, the way light bounces off them, the way the camera receives the light. I tried playing with the exposure a bit. This just looks hella washed out compared to real life. Yeah, even this green looks more normal compared to this. Like, this is not an accurate visual representation of my OBS window, of this green to this green. Why does he have a mini-con peg? Yeah, that's his little smokestack. That's his little choo-choo pipe. Is that a hole? No, it's these. Nondescript pistol on top of a bulldozer mode. So do they go into the arm mode at all? No, they don't. Cowards. Hey, green doesn't actually exist, much like the Berneinstein boners. So, how does arm mode work on this then? If we're flipping this thing down... Oh, so this is like a bracer flap. Yeah, this looks like, because you're slotting this down, obviously, but then, yeah, this braces it so that these things don't go wiggling out of concert with each other. It's my exclusive first look preview of the an ambulant bulldozer. The shoulder joint feels nice. It's all friction. There's no ratchets, but like in terms of a large diameter, large thickness friction hinge, it feels like just buttery enough. Yeah, no, the treads are it's the weird like. It's one of those like devastator decisions people always have to make, is like, do the treads move around with it or do they stay on there, and this is his arm. And I'm assuming, like, you know, there's these only on this side, these two slots, one would assume these interact with the chest wing thing, you know. Bone Crusher's actually blue and gold. Which one do you see? Or do you see white and gold? V-Writer, no, it's all in hook and long hauls instructions. Yeah, it's the commander one's gonna have, like, the giant piece of paper, I assume. Long was here, I do, but they are not easily accessible. The box they're in has a bunch of other boxes on top of it. Because I was looking at it today going, like, can I fish out the other bone crushers? But I couldn't. I probably would do that for an actual, like, review, but it will take me more than a second to, unearth those boxes that they're in. Yeah, Kaylee. Yeah, the treads on the torso is the animation model thing. It's one of the Devastator choices that one makes when one still wants them all to be in the same spots. Do I have Mecha Invasion Bone Crusher near? He's in the other room on the couch right now, because my couch is a disaster. I just wasn't sure if, like, he was, like, relevant, if that makes sense. Because he doesn't really... He's doing his own thing, kind of. Did his wife kick him out? Yeah, Scavenger was like, hey, the homeowner ranks me number 3 and ranks you number 6, or number 5. What's going on? Tonbot, oh dang, I hope that passes without incident. I'm still getting, like, slightly sweaty temples in here. All this humidity. I hate it. Here he is next to a Gears. So Bone Crusher's just kind of bigger. I think in both modes he's, like, kind of just a little bit bigger than, like, he looks in photos, at least. It's, I mean, it's the relevant Gears. It's the Kingdom one. But, you know, this is also Smallfoot, which is also the retro one. And someone's like, no, the retro Gears is actually completely different sizes because a bunch of COVID things happened to the steel molds. And I'm like, what? That's not true. I just made that up. It's not Gears. It's a transforming truck. I expected Gears to... Oh, you got me. I don't even have anything that looks like Gears around here. No. I'm going to turn this back to a robot. Make the Shadow Network make Swerve happen faster. I just, you know, I just don't feel like it. Oh, did I not push that together? Ooh. Oh, right, because I turned him into an arm. I probably knocked everything askew. Anyway, yeah, there's more solid, panel suction up there. Just review Gears, but all the footage is a Waruder Raider. True. But yeah, I was very interested in messing. Like, this is actually the only one I pre-ordered because the Scrapper pre-order went out on GameStop before I like saw it, and I was like, whatever. Same thing happened to the Commander 2-pack. I'm like, whatever. This was the one I really wanted to get like a solo pre-order on if I could, because I like G1 Bone Crusher. I like the little friggin' little freak. So I'm probably gonna try to write a review of this little guy just as, like, you know, from the perspective of this being a solo toy where this is the only one that you purchase. Because who knows? Maybe this is the only one I end up purchasing for a while. Oh, True Long was here. Yeah, we got to get back to robot mode for that. I wonder if there is, like, some funny way that I could... Well, no, all the tabs line up in a certain way, though. Yeah. Anyway, oh, his little forearms make this very difficult. He's trying. He's trying real hard here. Now he can do it. Yeah, it's just teeny little forearms. She's like, I'm covering my face! I'm covering my face! Yeah, if you don't care about the transformation, you could swap them, but, like, I care about the transformation. How hard is it to pull these off? Not that hard. Well, no, actually, wait. No, you'd have to, like, swap these as well. I don't want to do all that. That's a bunch of friggin' busy work. He looks like he'd squeak if I picked him up. True. I do like that if you, like, you know, you can leave these straight, but you kind of pop unlock them like that. And now he's even got, like, this little, like... this friggin' little henchman squat going on. This is why he always fights with drills, to hide his short arms. Yeah. Bodybuilder who's so muscular he can barely move his arms. Yeah, he did not use the right ratios of creatine. Funny things happened. Big hey boss energy. Scappa, I threw up. Oh, and with the hinge, he can even, like, look up a little bit. You better not mess with me. I'm the bone crusher. And then just when you, like, you finish having your first round of laughing, he's just like... And you're like, oh, he's got a gun! I believe we also had a request earlier from Cypher, so now that we're here... But you know what's messed up? Sounds pretty hollow, if you ask me. Yeah, the rest of it, no, not so hollow, but... Cheap and hollow! Cheap and hollow! If this was a real toy by a real company, this would all be filled in when it's in robot mode, but only in robot mode. Where is my spawning of a triangle wedge of mass? Where's all that where'd all that Dark of the Moon money go? Yeah, true no. How would a hollow toy crush bones? SMH, which means shake my head, Hasbro, which is a derogatory joke form of Hasbro. Lazy. Yeah, the legs are kind of hella dense. Like they feel like they're full of stuff. Which is funny because, like, you can see right here, like, you know, it's got the smart molding, whatever you want to call it, but what does this prove? And why did I do this? As though this is better than the pencil or the pen or whatever. Poking toys loudly is stupid. I don't mean to break kayfabe for a second here. Just like, you know, you think about it, right? When you're like, let me just demonstrate something to you. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. And furthermore, you hear that? And someone who doesn't know anything about toy collecting tunes in and just goes like, oh, they're all freaks. All right, I'm going to go back to collecting DVD case variants. It's the meat on plastic connection that makes a difference. Yeah, true. Poking toys quietly is smart. Yeah, if you... Because poking, silly. You know, friggin' whatever. Goofball behavior. But squeezing. You squeeze a toy. Now you're a scholar, okay? Now you're doing something intelligent. And if you're a real fan and you know your stuff and you're an academic, you fondle. That's when he gets really good. Yeah. This is the good stuff. What happened to him? He had a good time. That's what happened to him. Oh wow, look what happened to him, actually. Also, the toy guy, I love him. I always kind of laugh when he holds two toys side by side as if to display how much they weigh. I mean, yeah, I haven't done literally that, but also I was kind of like, I mean, this whole bit started when I was like, you know, he's kind of got this feeling. I'm starting to do this, you know, or when I'm like, not when I hold him like this, but when I start holding him like this, and I'm like, am I getting across the voluminosity that is present in this figure by cupping him harder with my palm and making the claw with my fingers? As opposed to this, where you can't tell how voluminous he is, but now you see how voluminous he is. How well does he kick his legs in the air and go, wah? He can actually go full birth position. Wah! I want it! I want it! I want a donut! Wah! Like he's got that going on. I will say this one tab to hold this thing in, now that I've transformed him a couple times, okay, it's gripping in when I really push it. But then when I move this thing up into position, it feels like it's like kind of undoing some of that. Maybe I gotta like keep it up when I push the tab in. His mono boob is getting in the way of his belly button connector. Mischievous Turtle. Do you see how solid he is? So voluminous he could sell it as a hair product. True. Who amongst us isn't impeded by our own mono boob? Thank you for speaking truth to power now. I got you back on that one. Yeah, I guess if I had like a crit, it would be that these two parts here and the top of the boob. I wish that there was a clip in, a clip in, and a clip in, because if we're already clipping in here to lock the waist, then go whole hog. You know, put some kind of there, put some kind of there. How far does the mono boob go down? Pretty far. He can also he can do the shuffle, right? Or the shuffle shovel, I should say. So if he was like, you know, oh wait, hang on a sec. Can you actually go like GoBot mode, kind of? Can we go like Mutoid Man? Kind of. He can sort of do the Mutoid Man. Yeah. Is there a head that can fit in that chest gap? I mean, technically. Technically, yeah. Gerdozer. This is the newest of the renegades. Psykill is introducing the newest of the renegades. It's Boner Beater! And then this little guy's like, I'm gonna beat the boner! Guardians! Dun, 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 dun. Where is his brain? It's right in here. It's within the superstructure. It's the Dildozer. Thank you, Flame Kaiser. The Cyberverse 2018 Scout class. I forgot about those toys, Scorp. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, here's a Cyberverse 2018 Scout class alt mode. This guy would never let a friend come alone. Very true now. Can't unsee Crasher's brain now, thanks to... Hey, you know... Does anyone need to be refreshed, by the way, on Crasher's brain? I looked... Logos, I looked away for a sec. What did you turn... I turned him into... This is secret GoBot mode. This is how you can turn him into the famous GoBot's Renegade Boner Beater. Yeah, let's get that brain out. Hang on, let me go over here for a second. Oh, we also got the Minicon compatible. Pop that open. Where are they? I gotta scroll up. Hang on. Here we go. Here we go. The good stuff. All right. Crasher's brain. Crasher's brain PNG tuber. Maybe. Just for those, for those who are confused, the GoBots canonically have organic brains because they were an organic species who were turned into cyborgs for survival purposes. Not robots, cyborgs. Here's Cykill as well for comparison. Absolutely untouched fiction potential in the decades since. Because apparently Tom Scioli never saw the GoBots cartoon. I don't have a clear image of Copter, like, immediately available. Copter's funny because he doesn't seem to have a brain. Also, Bone Crusher, this is from Logos. Bone Crusher's got a working Minicon port confirmed. The Soy Jack Bayard. Erector Power Link! Oh yeah, that is also way closer to what the green actually looks like. Like here, we'll flash the two greens back and forth a little bit. So here's green in the webcam, and there's more like what it looks like in person. Green in the webcam looks mistransformed. What are you talking about? This is Boner Beater, the famous GoBot. Did a bunch of you look away at the... Oh, I went to gameplay for a second. Yeah, GD Slalom, he just looks like that smile. I've been ordering pizza, I was distracted. You don't have me on a TV while you're... while you're ordering pizza? Yeah, Flame Kaiser, like, yeah, Canadian retail is kind of like... The way I put it is, what can we do about it other than wait for sales, right? So, like, when you buy a deluxe, yeah, especially if you can't find them at a GameStop and you don't have a Platinum, then it is, like, basically $40. That's how much Alchemist, well, you know, what is it like? Well, no, it is $40 when you don't have the GameStop discount. Um, so yeah, you kind of got to roll with it and pick your spots, basically. I have panels about this. I just had a stream with M Cypher kind of about this as well. My recommendation, unless you are very well off, right? Then hey, whatever. Is just like avoid pre-ordering. Just try to catch stuff in person. If you can, try to get one of those GameStop Platinum card things. But also, anything that is a Wave 1 is gonna probably linger around a lot. We're only getting the 3 waves minus the Commanders this year. So ideally, discounts are more possible on stuff that comes out in the first half of the year. But yeah, that's also like Flame Kaiser. If you're in Canada, then yeah, like we're already in it. Everything that the Americans were terrified of. I've gone on about this before. Like obviously, I know exchange rates exist, but psychologically, numbers are numbers. So in Canada, we've been living with the like basically $40 after tax deluxe for a good year now. And the year before, it was close enough to $40 after tax that if you weren't getting them at a GameStop, they were basically $40 after tax. So psychologically, we've already been there, and it sucks. So, grats to everyone in the States who did not face that on May 10th so far. Yeah, Wasp is dead. Wasp and Armada Red Alert are two that I would love to catch for like 20% off. Especially hearing so much good about Armada Red Alert and seeing him as the lingering Wave 1 Voyager in the spots I'm checking around here. I'm kind of like, I want to do a gamble. I want to do a fun little gamble and see if I can get him for like $30. That would be fun. But yeah, Bone Crusher is like almost just a solid fully featured deluxe. It is a shame that like because I think the thing I was hoping for that didn't happen was just that more stuff would lock in on robot mode. But he, to his credit, he locks together like a little brick in alt mode and locks together like a little hollow donut ring with a brick hanging off of it in arm mode. So they pulled that off, and the robot mode is still all right. Like, I think you just have to hold him like this. If you hold him by just the boob and start manipulating stuff, you're going to start having this happen. And he's like, whoa, oh my, yeah, oh, do it more. And then you're like, hey, Bone Crusher, we're literally on public stream right now. Our friends and family are literally watching. And he's like, I used to care, but I don't anymore. Show them everything. And then you gotta like take him, you gotta like, hey everyone, thanks so much for me and Bone Crusher gotta just go like deal with something in the kitchen. And you like take him in the kitchen and go like, listen, you're embarrassing me. You're embarrassing me in front of God and in front of my family. And you, maybe I will stay in my own apartment for a while. He's like, shake me like you're a British nanny. Ooh. Gets off on people watching. I mean, when a dude can do that. Yeah, I don't disagree. Like how we're all coming to the same conclusion, like Bone Crusher just likes it when people watch. Is this how Mecha Invasion got put on the couch? No, it's because the couch is near my filming table and I have to film 2 articulation segments for the Mecha Invasion stuff still. I put a funny pic of him in Lies Disc. Oh no. Which, like in the toy pictures? What happened? I can't find it. Oh. Oh, that's lovely. Nothing like a good old tep. If I'm looking at the right picture, at least. I'm looking at this. Is this what we're talking about? Also, that is lovely. Student Scissors, what's up? You embarrassed me in front of the boner. The creature. Yeah, no, this, I mean, this, by all accounts, this is like one of the star toys of the opening wave. It's just like, you know, when how the equation comes together when everyone says, oh, it's the star toy of the wave, and it's the one that seems to just kind of be lingering around where you're like, what if I got the star toy and for like 20% off? Yeah, oh. Like, I want to hit that value high, baby. And then you're like, you know, come November, I'm going to be like, I can't find Armada. I can't find Armada Red Alert anywhere. Can someone please? Does anyone have a spare one, please? I'll pay extra. Streamception in the background. Oh yeah, look at that. You can even see part of my, well, part of that cheek in there. Weird. Yeah, Siege Ironhide all over again. Well, no, because I've seen Armada Red Alert. Siege Ironhide I never saw in a package on a retail shelf. Ever. So the Red Alert's already doing better than Siege Ironhide. I went to the sucky Target near me and they had like 10 of them. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like of all the Voyagers to have 10 of, that's the one. Give me your address, I'll let you borrow mine. I don't want to funnel that much money into into the Postal Service. I can wait. It makes it all the more sweeter when I get the good stuff for the good price. There's also a 5mm port over here, I just noticed, so you could... Yeah, I'm not putting more money into big mail. In my head, that's spelled as the other mail, and I was like, what a strange thing for me to say. What is big mail? The patriarchy! Anyway, yeah, you can have a little, like, little talkie turret back here. Actually, look, he can shoot over his head if you lift this thing up. It's like, oh, hang on. You're like Bone Crusher's like, I'm unarmed. You're like, all right, Bone Crusher, we're willing to talk. Screw you, idiot! Starts shooting over his head. Oh, that's so good. That's what Transformers need to be doing. Is like, you know, using... Yeah, the clearance is perfect! Like, look at that! There needs to be more of this in Transformers media, of them just using their various ambulatory parts, like, non-modally. Well, I guess, actually, no, this is technically more modally. The only problem is you have to move something down to cover it at first. Well, no, you can just do that. You're like, he comes onto the shuttle, he's like, I just want to talk. I have turned over a new leaf. I'm a pacifist. And then, like, hang on. It's like, well, I believe him. And then it's all like, eat it, old product! Ah! That should have been how it happened in the movie. Better than the scene we got. Bone healer? Oh, wait a sec. Comes on the shuttle alone. I'm not even with them anymore. I just wanted to tell you there's a hole in your shuttle. Oh, that's real helpful. That's really nice of you. I'll come over here and give you a hug. Idiot! My shoulder. This was in fact a perfect height to shoot you in the shoulder when you went for a hug, idiot! Ah! Remember, SG Bone Crusher is in medical colors. True. 5mm ports being cannons was in the Netflix cartoon. Oh, yeah. What's the opposite of crushing? Depends. Could be stretching. Bone stretcher? Actually sounds worse. Bone setter? Actually, that... Bone setter is very medical. Bone Caesar. Bone absconder. You have a whole family of boners in Transformers. They just haven't done it yet because they're cowards. Medical debt crusher. My windows in order. Bone stretcher, isn't that just jelking? They sure would like to think it is, but it's not. That's just skin stretcher. Now, you want a good Transformers name. Imagine if a Decepticon showed up, nondescript body, and just, like, had, like, you know, an eye patch or something, and, like, they call me Skin Stretcher! Like, you know, would you stick around, or would you just leave? You'd just be like, nah, I don't want to find out. I don't want to know. I'm glad your parents love you, but I don't want to stick around for this. Where are you all going? I can show you why they call me Skin Stretcher. Nah, it's good. Hey. I'm so happy for you. How did oh yeah, I flipped this around to reveal the port up there. This doesn't really have a tab or anything. It just has stiffness. Yeah, that's Skin Stretcher's tech spec. Bring me them foreskins. Megatron's just like, don't call him back! I told him the human foreskin colony is on the moon of Pluto. Don't call him back! Just let him go find out! If he calls us, tell him that he hasn't found it yet! I don't want to deal with that guy! He smells like butter! No, Reach Around's like, no, listen, me, Decepticon Reach Around, I have class, I have nuance. I'm not Skin Stretcher. I don't keep changing the topic to human foreskin constantly. Anyway, yeah, I'm enjoying this little guy enough. I would say that as a standalone piece, he doesn't have all of the bonus functionality of an Age of the Prime's Vortex that makes Vortex really feel like, you know, I could just have this one and feel like I bought a Transformer. And, you know, it's a weird topic to have around a combiner team, obviously, especially a Devastator combiner team that's going super slavish to cartoonology. But, he's achieving enough. He doesn't feel like I'm literally, like, buying part of a gift set, which is nice. Did I convert him TM? Yeah, I did. I could do it one more time. Mr. Fish Turtle, I looked up the robot chicken butter sketch and wet is a good description. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, very wet. You a cop. Let's fill the gap. Yeah. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Thank you. You know, Nexus Prime, like, the whole thing with trying to figure out what Nexus Prime is like, could be plenty of things. Could just turn into a funny truck. I'm kind of, like, curious about whether they're gonna have Nexus Prime, like, turn into a self-combiner, like, Nexus Prime can turn into, like, limbs or half of a combiner or a torso, and then combine with other Nexus Primes. I think that could be kind of cool. My dream that they won't do, and most people, you know, hate this, and that's kind of why I love it, is I think it'd be funny if Nexus Prime turned into a torso to combine with 4 combiner skeleton frames that turn into limbs. I think that would be very funny. Yeah, like, I like the alt mode on this. It's got that kind of that palm-filling dinkiness. Like, I suspect Nexus Prime will probably, because the combiner frames appear to use the same shoulder connection and, you know, the Combiner Wars peg style leg connections for the full limbs. I kind of suspect Nexus Prime may just have those molded on as well. So that, you know, like, Nexus Prime can just be a torso. But also, in doing that, Nexus Prime could also self-combine. There's a lot of play in there, because, like, what is a Nexus Prime, right? It's a weird Energon remold in translucent plastic. That's all it ever has been so far. So, sky's the limit, technically. Dandy, hello. Yeah, pleasantly dinky. And I'll say again, more voluminous in person than he looks in photos, which was a pleasant surprise. Nexus Prime, just a Lego set. Hasbro's just like, hey, listen, we know you all made those Transformers Legos, and we all know Joe Kide, so we're just gonna start doing Lego again. And you're cool with it. Amalgamus is the Lego. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I always forget, like, Amalgamus, like, as a thing. A bunch of the that's why I'm, you know, excited to see what they do with that set of 12 characters ongoing. Well, 13, but, you know, 12. For the purposes of that line, is, like, a bunch of them just don't really exist as figure things. A bunch of them don't toyetically exist. And I think it's kind of neat that they have a little bit of room to play around with them. It's the new version of brand new Transformers characters, except, like, mythology-wise, in fact, the exact opposite, but toyetically, it turns out that they fulfill that function. Yeah, Ruby, I kind of have the same thing happen sometimes, because, you know, amalgamation, oh yeah, yeah, but then I always forget Nexus Prime, and then I just remember Nexus Maximus, and I'm like, right, the dildo, and then I, you know, here I am. Timu, kind of love the idea of Nexus Prime being a 5-changer with robot, alt, torso, arm, and leg modes. Yeah, that would be another ideal for me. I am low-key kind of hoping I just come across GameStop-priced Solus and Prima while I'm visiting my mom out west, and Megatronus, ideally. It would be funny if that's how I end up, like, I go to British Columbia to go find my happy-priced Wave 1 Age of the Primes. Tonbot, the last thing I saw from you is Nexus Prime as a Lego set, so it might have eaten it. The good old YouTube bot I have no control over, who sometimes goes like, "That sounds like violence!" Do you think we'll get a Bionicle lore stream where you react to legitimately crazy lore of this children's property? So the problem is, I know a bunch of the, just through cultural osmosis over the decades, I already know, no, I'm in live chat mode. I checked that, I'm better about that now. But no, sometimes the YouTube bot will just eat something if there's a link in it, or if it just thinks it's violence. Anyway, I know too many of the big beats out of Bionicle to be, like, properly, like, whoa! I still probably could, like, you know, make some decent time together out of, like, Bionicle stuff, Bionicle lore. But, like, I know the part about the planet robot and the medical moon or whatever, because that's always the stuff people blab really fast and hard and loud. Also, I wouldn't want to make it like watching someone's lore video and reacting, because I feel like that stuff mostly only plays on Twitch, not on YouTube. So it would need to be something where I don't feel like the whole stream is going to get, like, catapulted into the sun by YouTube afterwards. Although I will say one thing to YouTube right now. When I was on that Hellraiser tangent, guess what got claimed a whole lot? Was the Hellraiser tangent. YouTube has, like, noise removal systems now that can, like, strip out the copywritten audio and leave, like, a noise removal everything else. I'm happier with that than the, like, just the muting of stuff. So, at least that, like, exists as a tech that seems to work okay. Stardust Magician, it would need to have someone explain some of the lore. Yeah, that would make more sense. Yeah, Ruby, yeah, need someone to talk you through it. Anyway, hey, hang on. Hey, viewers. Oh, you can see my elbow coming on this. That's even, yeah, let's do this. Hey, viewers. Put the word out to your favorite Bionicle lore creator personalities that I'm looking to collaborate. Alex Lemons, don't put switchblades against people. Put them against robots. That's what they're meant for. Yeah, you get free elbow. Free elbow going on. Toy Guy co-stream. I mean, Toy Guy is responsible for half of my Bionicle collection. Elbow reveal. Yeah, for free. But only this one. You don't get to see this one. Anyway, we got about 27 minutes left for how much I felt like streaming today, so why don't I pop us back over to the browser feed. Let's do a little, because I want to practice this. I want to practice a little bit of, like, news scrolling, and this is more of my attempts to develop Yappin' stream skill set. So this is part of my training arc. Also, look at my beautiful, I cleared out my inbox, clear out my alerts. You know, I click all the buttons when I see the little numbers up there. So what's been happening? What's been happening? I know one thing in here I got a statement I can make on. Here we go. Yeah. Whoa, everything's horrible. They're never gonna sell Blockies, Galaxy Defender, Devastator extra parts in the United States. Never. Blah. So the way this is worded. So what I'll say, I said this on Blue Sky. I recommend calm. The way this is worded, right? This was an email reply for one. We're sorry for the inconvenience. We cannot sell in the U.S. because the copyright holder does not allow it. We're an official channel, so we must strictly abide by the requirements of the copyright holder. Thank you for your understanding. We will launch more products as much as possible with authorization, so stay tuned. So basically, I'm pretty sure that, like, Galaxy Defender Wave 3, I don't think has English packaging yet, or it only has it for, like, if they're sending out review samples to people. Not me, by the way. So until Galaxy Defender Wave 3 is into North American distro, there's no reason why this would be available anyway. I'm like pretty sure it's going to be available in the US once it has English language packaging, because that is how Blockies has worked in my observations this whole time. There's a lot of what feels like copyright holder imperatives put upon a lot of AliExpress sellers, because on AliExpress there's a lot of sellers I have found where you can buy random single boxes, but you specifically cannot purchase a sealed box to have shipped to your North American address. You got to dig a little bit, then you'll find the sellers who will do it. But a lot of the sellers who get fronted to me on AliExpress specifically do not ship sealed boxes of Blockies stuff, like, you know, an unopened set of blind boxes, to a North American address, which I am pretty sure is relevant to the copyright holder authorization stuff. So, this will probably be available in America later. And if it's not, it's up on Show Z right now. And it's going to be all over AliExpress. And now we have a precedent for all of you in the States where you might just be getting weird 30 to 90 day windows of being able to shop online from Asia. So, it'll be navigatable, in my opinion. I think that the wording of this is sort of, how do you put it? It's obfuscating the part where this was a private email response to interested customers, basically. So, yeah, there's nothing to worry about here, in my opinion. So I'm trying to put the word out about that as much as possible, because, like, I think a lot of people do just read, like, won't be available, and, like, it's like, nah! Navigable! That doesn't sound as good as navigatable, but I like dropping the gentle European T in there. I think I'll just tweak the English language a little bit to my aesthetic preferences. Oh, I missed this. Cyberworld stuff is in hand now. I wonder if this was found on a store shelf or someone actually went to the trouble of getting some gray legal Cyberworld. Okay, I don't think they did because it's in a package. Never mind. Navigatable isn't a proper word, but it's a tasty word. And maybe we want to get a little improper now and then. A little bit navigant, as Boulder said. Also, yeah, the English language is pretty dumb. You can do a lot of... The thing about the English language is you can do a lot of messy garbage stuff, but people will know what you're trying to say. And I think that it's more built for doing that than some of the Romance languages. But to the point where if you don't already speak English, like, what a strange thing to have to describe. I saw some chatter somewhere, and I forgot where, that Cyberworld may, like, whatever happens tariff-wise, Cyberworld's being aimed at children specifically may escape it from some of the tariff fates that are probably going to be more centered on collector lines, but I don't remember where I read that, and I don't remember the train of logic that led to that conclusion. So, yeah. If someone listening remembers, then A. You think English is bad, and yet you speak English. Interesting. I'm very intelligent. Oh yeah, they did the whole reveal on Defender Wave 3. Because it sounds like the Galaxy Wave 7, the TF1-2 wave, was already available for sale on their site. So, And I mean, they have the ad copy done already with English language for Defender 3. So I'm sure, like, if they're sending out any review samples, they must have, because when I got the review sample of Galaxy Wave 6, it was in North American English language packaging, but like that stuff wasn't for sale for another like month or two, I think. So that may just be the case with Galaxy Wave 3. Oh yeah, that dino is huge. I mean, Grimlock, Cyberworld Grimlock is sort of like a vehicle playset. I guess as opposed to a playset vehicle like Scorponok. But he's still meant to be like a big dino thing that you have the little Cyberworld folks like ride around on. But yeah, we got like... I didn't take a look at any of these like close-up pictures yet. But I like the base. Yeah, this was a fun one. I like the base Defender feel. They got a good arrangement of ball socket joints. So a lot of these oh, they did both. Okay. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. That's cute. Yeah. Oh, they're actually fictionalizing why they have a translucent shockwave. That's also very cute. I like this shot especially on Mixmaster. He's like so foreshortened. It's just like, it's just a tiny truck, but they're like, look, it's a tiny truck. Oh yeah, that's a big megaphone on Jazz, dang. And yeah, the little hot rod, especially if the eyes can catch some good glow like that. I'm not sure precisely. Does it look like that in the group shot? No. Okay, that's an effect they've added. But still, the little fin, the little buzzsaw hand, like, that's very cute. Oh yeah, what's the chase setup on this? Because it's Defender. Okay, Grimlock and Soundwave are the chases. Alright. So, less rare chase Soundwave has the Ravage. And then do we know what the special types look like yet? I'm guessing not, because I didn't see them in there. The vehicle-only ones are in there, I think, to offset the other ones. And then the funny bonus is like, hey, some of the vehicle-only ones buy this other thing, and they do a thing. The Optimus vehicle-only one like has that little like, you know, the turret stand, so it can kind of like interact at least. But I think they are in there to be the less good pulls. Oh, Mang Motion has a stop motion with those little guys already. Dang. Also, this, I can't afford this anymore. I can only do one of the, like, I don't think I can do Adamus Machina repaints. But this looks pretty swish. Hopefully this thing sticks around long enough that maybe if my career gets better, I could eventually pick it up, because I love these colors, and I like the Adamus Machina Rodimus mold a lot. It's a good crotch. If I don't get both, how you do rod-on-rod 5mm butt plug action? Well, I mean, you know, like I said, things just got to go better for me to enjoy such luxuries as taking a 5mm to 5mm peg and inserting it into two Adamus Machina Rodimuses to fuse them together anally. And, like, you know, I can't, you know, that's excess, that's luxury. I have to look longingly at the horizon and dream of that until it can become reality. Ruby, thinking of selling your orange one to get this one? Yeah, I mean, I think people might be tempted. And hey, if you think that the normal one looks cool, and people actually, like, sell a second-hand one on the domestic aftermarket, what a great time to participate in your domestic aftermarket. Is this the first official Lost Light Rodimus? I think... No, it's not out yet, but they've shown that colorway on the Kurokara Kuri version as well, with, like, the weird, like, armor jacket thing or whatever. Oh, this is I was making fun of this on Blue Sky. They're like, they got silhouettes up. Hang on, can I just open an image in new tab? They got silhouettes up for Mixmaster and Scavenger, and I was like, are you telling me that silhouette that looks a bunch like Mixmaster might be cartoon-oriented Mixmaster? Like, the silhouette thing is so comical on, like, the Studio Series Constructicons, because it's like, damn, I wonder what they're gonna look like. Oh, I don't know. I gotta get my old brain gears a turning on this one. Who's that Constructicon? It's Pikachu! This is still open, by the way. Yeah, we had this whole Shizuoka hobby show, which had some really cool Diaclone reboot stuff show up at it. So this is the look at the actual, like, color-fied MPG 17. Who is way off to the side. It's also the friggin' the silhouette thing so funny because they're right there. The gray prototypes are right there. Like, I know this is in service of a Hasbro side reveal. I'm pretty sure, like, you know, for the PR rhythm, and so, you know, whatever. That's how the corpo do the work. But it's very funny. But it's gray, not green. Oh yeah, they did MPG Hauler. Well, no, what is he? Yeah, Road Hauler is what the Katakana says there. Oh, this is a wall. It was this. Hang on, this wall. Is there a closer up shot of the Hearts of Steel? No. No. Okay, so what does this say? Wait, are we how in shot are we? Let me open this image in new tab. Hang on. All right. This says Transformer Taimurain Hato Obu Sutiru Optimus Prime and Starscream. Okay. I thought maybe they would have, like, changed the wording or something, but no, it is literally just one-to-one to the English names. Yeah, Robot Lorekeeper, Skybite is out in Australia or New Zealand or both now. So simply move there for a couple days and get yourself hooked up. Is this really, like, the only shots we have on the front page of this? Anyway, it looks fine. I didn't do a pre-order or anything. I'd like to pick up this Optimus because it looks like it's a fun figure. But I'm, you know, bide my time, wait till it comes out, as I tend to always do with Masterpiece now. Oh, really? 13? Oh, yeah, you're right. 13K 200 for the Hearts of Steel 2-pack. Yeah, you know, I mean, they're probably not getting as many of them over there as they are sending out over here. Oh, it's up on Pulse. Pulse has pictures. All right. I want to go all the way over to Pulse. Let's see what else is here. All the way over to Pulse. Here's the Evangelion I think it doesn't say Synergen X, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be under Synergen X. And people have identified, like, the funny-looking two-toed foot and the wheels on the sides here that all, and the, you know, the shape of the forearm, all very Movie Prime evocative. Isn't it going to be funny when he actually is, in fact, just not Movie Prime at all? But the silhouette, I can see why people are seeing it in here. So it's probably going to be, like, EVA 01 colors. Like, it's going to... I'd be surprised if it isn't purple and green the first time around, at least, because that's, like... That's the one who gets put on posters now. Yeah, I want to know what they do here. I'm curious if it just turns into a truck, or if it's, like, going to turn into, like, a I don't know, a nerve truck. Oh yeah, you can. Yeah, the evil one horn is. That's probably this little sticky outy thing here. Yeah. I wonder if it's gonna have like an Eva face under the mouth plate, so it's like Meat Optimus. Turns into Ramiel. Yeah, it turns into a jet. Just a jet. Yeah, they got anime colors, missing Link here, which that's neat. Not really interested myself, but now they have the other version on these two little guys. And this is the stuff here. This is the finally getting a look at whatever the hell this thing is. I've been trying to like kind of temper my expectations because like this is like the three-way Synergen X, but that means it is going to neither be a Zoids, nor a Transformers, nor a Diaclone. It will just have bits and pieces of all of them. So I would like caution to not expect this to be full of Diaclone functionality necessarily. But it seems to come with two Diaclone, or two Dionauts, maybe three Dionauts? I'm pretty sure the blue and red one is probably the main one it comes with, because that's the Optimus Prime colors. But it has two cockpits. It would be nice if they gave you like a Dionaut for every cockpit. Yeah, a Transformers. And I know someone in the Diaclone thread had pointed out that's the old Road Viper, the original one. Interested to know if it comes with the stand, because that's like the Masterpiece Dinobot stand that I got. And yeah, this little gray thing over here is like the top spinal stuff and the tail turning into a little jet. That's a very Diaclone thing to do. Demonstrably on the robot mode here, it is attached on the back, but that means it can like pop off and fly around, which I think is pretty fun. Do Zoids also do the little mini pilot figure thing? Kind of. Sideswipe Prime in the Discord has got a Zoids Spider-Man crossover thing that they put out recently, but the Spider-Man is about 50% taller than a Dionaut, which still means it's tiny and is very posable for its size. Like, I have very little attachment to Zoids whatsoever, but I like the gumption of this nonsense, so I'm very interested in it. And I'm just curious. I'm not going to expect that it will, but it would be sick if, as like the full Diaclone integration, they just hide like the pop-apart waist, pop-apart thighs, and arm sliders in here somewhere, so that you can like just have another set of limbs to go with the Diaclone big robot system. I don't expect it will do that, but it would be super cool if it did. And yeah, this is clearly the Dionaut this will come with, because that's Optimus Prime colors. I just hope it comes with more than one. Like, Dionauts are basically $10 toys that are very small, but you know, when you have more cockpits than you have Dionauts in the same box, it always bums me out. Gumption Nonsense is my favorite Pacific Rim Jaeger name. Yeah. Yeah, I like that Optimus head sculpt a lot. And I like that the Optimusness outside of the head sculpt is mostly like the yellow kneecaps and these like red panels. It looks so weird, but I wish that the feet turned into Optimus feet somehow, just so it feels less like a beast former. But that's some Transformers ass critique to have. Oh, and I'm also just realizing he has the Optimus diaper crotch too. That's neat. Always like to see a good yellow striped diaper. Ew. Oh yeah, and we got like the color sample on this. I don't remember if this has pre-orders anywhere yet, and I don't think I can like, you know, sanely just pre-order it, but I'd like to, because I like Adamus Machina Rodimus, and so I want to know what Adamus Machina means on a like 12-inch tall combiner made of 4 little guys. So I really like how the legs fuse together to form the bicep and the forearm. 12 inches of Predaking, baby. And someone else pointed, because his colors have a lot of metallic flake on this painted sample, but I know I saw someone somewhere else point out that that was a similar thing for the first painted samples of Rodimus. So I expect that this will resemble the Rodimus paint finish once it goes to mass production. Yeah, Ruby, this is actually a combiner. The torso, Razor Claw, is much larger than the four limbs. The four limbs are very, like, scout-looking. But I don't mind, because they're doing... This is the way that the things are coming together for the arms seems, like, really cool. Oh, GD Salam, was it you? Yeah. Because you can see the metallic flake here on Rampage, especially. But yeah, if you go find the old, like, gray prototype photos of this, they have group shots of them in both individual modes, and like they look kind of weird, but I don't mind if they're gonna do some, like, again, some experimental transformation design stuff. And like, if the question is what does this go with, I don't know. I'm not the person to ask about that. If something's cool enough, I don't really care too much about what it goes with. Thank you, Boulder. Yeah, here we go. So there's the individual modes. So the animal modes look, they look fine, scale-wise. But obviously in the robot modes, you can see that, like, Razor Claw is large and the other four are small. And clearly Razor Claw is also wearing, the feet as shoulder pads, which I don't mind. But I assume you can just pull those off, too. Oh, hey, Strange 4. Yeah, this was ages ago. What's up for springing? So, this isn't this like scaling amidst the five of them is gonna put some people off inherently, but, like, I don't mind it if it's in service of interesting delivery. And also, the leg guys specifically being short is adorable. Like, Tiny Tantrum is really funny. He still looks like he thinks he's big. Also, what's interesting, I just noticed this. The katakana names here is a Razor Claw, Reza Kuro, Daibu Bomu, Hedus Drong, and then Torox. So they're going with Torox even in Japan now. And then Rampage. So that says Torox. I didn't notice that until just now. Tantrum's arms look longer than his legs. Who's Tantrum? Never heard of him before. I don't think I've ever seen Torox in katakana before. Did they do that in Power of the Primes? Or I don't know. Also, who's gonna remember off the top of their head? Oh, thank you. Yeah, okay. Here's what Rodimus looked like as a painted sample. And you can kind of see, like, well, it's less overt, but you can still see the slight extra level of gloss and sheen. Torox versus Kill Bison. Smash Ox. And then here's there's less I think to say about the animal modes, but like the main thing on the robot modes is, like, on the limbs you can see, like, in their inner calves how tiny they look compared to this, like, engineering wise. But also, like, that peg right there, for instance, demonstrably is part of how this forms a solid looking arm. Ox Crusher, that's a good name. Yeah, GD Slalom, that's true also. Like, it's heavy lights being put on a metallic finish, and yeah. Is it Taurox or Torox? It's Torox on the English packaging, so They already picked the most robotic looking version of it. Torox would know all about the Cavs. He ho Ohio. Uh-oh. Oh no. Also, yeah, someone else mentioned the scimitar. I just realized that the Adamus Machina fella is coming with 2 different shaped swords. Yeah, Torox like Clorox. Sponsored. I'm so fascinated. Like, I'm trying not to build it up too much in my head, but like after transforming Adamus Machina Rodimus, it's the interlinks and the Gattai on this where I'm just like, I wonder if there's going to be anything like really left field, like just some interesting ideas. Also, like, look how thick the Predaking head smokestacks are. Unbreakable body. I wonder if there's a butterfly joint for the swords. Full combiner for sophomore releases bold move. Also, a one where they showed a prototype of it basically alongside the Rodimus, timing-wise. Like, nothing about that Rodimus's release can possibly be informing this one. And even if it could, what would it inform, actually? Now that I'm saying that. Like... Also, look at the joints in the fingers on this, like, the CAD model. I'm gonna, hang on, can we see the fingers better in any of these? No, they got him all fisted up like a friggin'... They're teasing me. I want to know if he's got finger spread. Oh yeah, and we got a better look at Bazara Convoy and all the face sculpts. This will be the last thing I look at, I think. Yeah, for those who had been wondering what the delivery on this was going to be. It's like not a bad jet mode, considering it has to have Optimus Prime legs. And it seems to come with like a whole ass little truck that turns into like a stage. Coming out 2026, so it's probably a ways off. Let's open a new window or a new tab on this one. Yeah, here we go. So he's got swappable faces. One of them's got, yeah, faceplate, swagger, and then normal. I'm liking the swagger face a lot. Oh, naturally, they got the swagger face on there already as well. I would say, because I'm similar in that, like, you know, this just being Optimus Prime, less interesting to me. But with these face sculpt options and, like, seeing this full setup on the stage and everything, I'm like, this is actually just like if Bazara was born on Cybertron. Excuse me. I sneezed. I'm just taking this as this is just like, this is a Prime who is Bazara. Dankeschön, Alan Weaver. I don't know where that sneeze came from. Thank you for springing. Like the pointing finger and stuff. I'm a very, you know, I've got a head full of juicy headcanon fruit, so like this is also just working for me, but I hope they can do like a strong little CG short to go with this to sell the concept harder. Because, like, yeah, this is not Optimus Prime. This is just a convoy, a Prime, who is Bazara. I can see, like, the Matrix crystal in the middle of the guitar, too. I forgot about that. I think we saw that on the first reveal. Yeah, or, yeah, Prime who's a Firebomber fanboy. The Cybertron from the Macross universe, you know? Oh, thank you, G-Islam. Yeah. Here is a better look at the good face. Even on the articulated hand, like, they were able to get only the index finger a separate thing to look good on that guitar neck, I think. Like, the strap is gonna probably be real weird looking no matter what happens, because, you know, I wouldn't have done it myself, but they're trying to pull it off. Yeah, he's holding a power cord. Yeah, Lee. Oh, there's little matrices like all over the guitar. Like there's on all the diddly fiddly twiddly bits on the guitar. That's the scientific term. And I'm just realizing he's also got nipples. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 convex nipples. Oh, and you can see for the head swaps, I think you can see the hinge up there, the seam for the hinge on the top of the helmet, because it looks like you swing the forehead plate up and then swap, like that's what the T-bar slot into. He's mammal, true. So yeah, this thing looks pretty cool. Like I want to see the colored photos. I want to see I would like to see the ad campaign to sell the concept harder, which I trust in them to do given what they've been doing for X-Kaiser. It's not enough, but it's more than I thought they would for X-Kaiser. They should have gotten the voice actor in to record some lines. And the animation still ain't as good as the best Diaclone reboot stuff, but it's still alright. Actually, maybe we'll end on that since some of you might not have seen everything. Let me go bring that up. Griff, yeah. It's so the regular X-Kaiser they're selling has a metallic blue and a more vibrant red to make it different. And it comes with an all-gold version of the sword, yeah. Just turn the sound down so we don't get... Oh, my poor humidity-racked locks of hair. So we don't get racked with this stuff. The sound is not amazing on this. It's fine, but it's not like the selling point. It's us. So yeah, there's the full base mode. And I like what they're kind of selling with this concept, because it's like the flight mode of the King Rotor feels like it's more like that's the primary mode now. I've been like gushing these concepts in my head a little bit. Like there's some good throwbacks in there, but also showing, yeah, you pop those off to open up the trap door. It still looks like an obscenely voluminous toy. It's big and thick. And they showed some of these animations already, but this one's actually going to show the Great X-Kaiser combination and show some of that engineering that I dug up on my copy all by myself. And a bunch of other people started to as well. But I did it without anyone showing me, for the most part. I was very proud of myself. And here it goes, here it goes, here it goes. This already! That's one part. And those hinges, but all that stuff moving, like the arms transforming. And look, they show the head ditching the parts. I love this! And then the new version of the great version of the sword. Like, this is totally selling the idea that I feel they are going for, which is this is X-Kaiser now. Like, this is X-Kaiser with a gear up. But here, there's a really cool bit someone else pointed out on this. Right here, like, the way that they get the mask to still be usable is the Dragon Kaiser arm not only folds in, but it becomes the curvature of the outside of the shoulder pad. And then look, there's like you can see here, like the tab, and there's probably going to be a slot in the bottom of that panel to like lock it together to form the white ridge part. Like, that's such a freaking cool way to like make all that stuff work. And then yeah, like the cuff is now like you transform the arm to receive the cuff. Oh, even the top splits open and hinges, so like yeah, there's like the tab and the slot there. Like, it transforms more than the old one, which is so freaking cool. Oh yeah, no, the pre-orders are up. Dragon Kaiser, I think, is actually like slightly less expensive than X Kaiser, or slightly. There's like a 1 or 2k yen difference between the two, but they are nearly the same price. So, Dragon Kaiser is pretty much just as expensive. It's the easiest way to put it. This thing too, though. Like, I wonder if there might even be, like, a peg or something for the foot, but the visual of this, I love that they work this in, because, again, this makes it feel more like this is the new X-Kaiser tech. This is where it's like, you know, it's X-Kaiser with these two modular suits flying around doing stuff. I just want to see how these legs work again. So yeah, that's like, I think someone else pointed this out in the Great Proto shots way back. It's, yeah, the entire lower body parts of the legs, they all just fold back and in on the back of the combined calf. I like that they swing the camera around so you can get a look at that. So those boots are going to be huge, but like, you know, having handled the toy, like, those leg joints are just, like, meaty. So it's going to... Whoa. And that's the bit I found on mine when I was trying to figure out the logistics of why things had moving parts. Like, when I found this hinge on the wings, I was like, oh, now I get it. Only 90 out of the knees. Let me go back, because they're double hinged. You might be able to get more than 90. So much happens so fast. I think there's enough room in there to get, like, you're not going to get like a full double hinge like squeeze, but like it'll be 90 easily, but both ends of the double joint are available there. So if you only use the lower joint, it's going to be 90, but I bet you could squeeze another like 10 degrees out. Yeah, Griff, like Toy Rise Brave being Classics Brave is like, it's... Why did it take so long, you know? Oh, by the way, I did some digging. So, a new thing for us all to spread around. And I think in some of the ad copy for Dragon Kaiser, if you read the katakana, proves this too. But I looked into Brave Saga 2, the PS2 game from back in like 2001 or whatever. It was never Thunder Crash. It's always been Thunder Flash, both forms. That's a misnomer, and I don't know how it got around, other than the fact that it kind of sounds like it, because the audio is always so crunchy on all those old X-Kaiser rips. But X-Kaiser never says Thunder Crash. It's Thunder Flash, and then in Great X-Kaiser form, it's still Thunder Flash. I dug around and I looked at a whole bunch of katakana. It's always Thunder Flash. So, this doesn't actually matter at all. But just in case we all wanted to know. because I was a Thunder Crash truther 100 years ago when I reviewed the Masterpiece Brave ones, I'm pretty sure. So now I dug around and I looked. It is always Thunder Flash. It's just Thunder Flash with a bigger sword. Baron Stain, correct. So what I know of anime fans on the internet is that I feel that when I present this notion, whenever I make my videos about this stuff, someone's gonna start screaming at me. So I just wanted to, like, prep all of you and, like, start to, fertilize the soil a little bit, just so we're all prepared. The review's muted, so Legacy is saved. Did they get muted? I can't remember. I should probably go check. Anyway, it's always Thunder Flash. So there you go. There is an individual X-Kaiser coming out with different plastic finishes and an all-gold normal X-Kaiser sword for when you want that to be gold. Low-key, I'm kind of tempted just because, like, I really like the Toy Rise X-Kaiser. No, the fully muted videos were High Price of the Final Death. Those got janked up by me using the Keitai Sosakan 7 soundtrack. But anyway, hey, look. Where are my buttons? So now I'm 15 minutes overtime. Oh no! We're keeping it tight. We're keeping it tight. Yeah. There we go. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm curious if, because I know there's been a conversation about the fact that Toy Rise and the Gatai currently are kind of staying out of each other's way. And I understand that. And Toy Rise X Kaiser looks great in all the photos I've seen of him next to the Gatai stuff by Godbrave Studio. But also, Toy Rise is going for, like, just enough of a tweaked aesthetic. I kind of would like them to do everyone and figure out, like Griff was saying, like, what if there was a Firebird who has maybe more of a little guy that isn't just a little Power Master thing? Like, what would a reworked Firebird be, you know? Yeah, they also showed a great prototype for Toy Rise Gao Faigar, who seems to be, again, smaller. It seems like the Toy Rise Gao Gaigar stuff, they're smaller and focusing on cross-compatibility between all the Gao Gaigars, which I think is super cool, too. Toy Rise just gets me very excited. And what I like about Toy Rise getting me excited is that it doesn't mean I want to buy all of it, because, for instance, I just don't feel anything about Beta Man. But I think it's really cool to see what they're doing with it still. They showed that prototype for Raijino, if I recall correctly. Like the first of the Eldoran stuff that I guess they're getting to do in Toy Rise now. Super curious to see what Toy Rise does with Eldoran stuff. But, yeah, be the man. Super curious to see what they do with the Eldoran stuff. But I don't like Eldoran. I mostly just like because the stock footage is funny when, like, the whole high school turns into King Gozaur. Like, that's fun. But yeah, I don't know. It's exciting. Takara Tomy Toy Rise is the most excited I am about robot toys right now, because they are. It just really feels like they're swinging a bat as hard as they can in every direction, like, in the good way. Who knows if all this is still around in, like, a year or two, but it's very exciting to me. It's really fun to watch. It's like, you know, even the Transformers T-Spark stuff, now that MPG is, like, starting to stretch its legs more and be weird, like, it's a lot of really cool stuff going on. And I kind of just no longer expected that out of Takara Tomy, because I kind of felt like Takara Tomy was so reliant on Shinkalion and Transformers. Like, you know, what could they do that's like fancy? Diaclone reboot, basically. The Genesik is out first, and then Gaofigar seems to be the next one. I kind of get the vibe that, like, T-Spark is knowingly avoiding smacking into other existing high-end toys that are still, like, fresh in memory. And, like, maybe that is why they're kind of, like, not going straight to Gao Gaigar. Because, like, so, as far as I know, Soul Jigoku and Gao Gaigar is still around and somewhat beloved. What's up, Aaron? No, I am now getting ready to close up a bit. I shredded box and then spent about 45, 50 minutes cruising around some front page news. Nobody seems to, me included. I always forget there is a Soul of Jigoku and Gao Figar. I'm really surprised in a happy way, like, how exciting T-Spark stuff is to look at. And that they also, like, you know, they announced, like, 4 more brands or whatever, but, like, one of them seems to be, like, missing link for our other stuff, and that's where they're gonna put Microman now, and, like, okay. Cool. But a reminder, as I congratulate myself, I also congratulate you, because you have access to, well, not this, but a sick coupon code at Toy Hacks. If you're already buying stuff there, this will give you 15% off this month if you put Mother Vangelus in as your coupon code. And that will also feed the machine being me. For spring, you could say they've rekindled a spark! Yeah, you're right. Long River Valley. How is Soul of Jigoku and Gao Figar? Like, I assume he turned out okay, because Gao Gaigar was pretty solid. How big percent is a healthy coupon? 15%. That's the magic number. I don't know why. Long River Valley. It's fine. Oh. Okay, Gao Figar is more solid in some places than Gao Gaigar. That's cool. That's cool. I think it's funny the first reply was, it's fine. I like the shoulders more, but the leg joints lost their ratchets and feel way worse. Oh, that's a bummer. I was always, that's where Soul Jigoku is nowadays. I was gonna say, like, I'm sure the blunder, at least the scene, what sounds like the blunder of Choryujin, like, probably just, like, puts a real dour bummer over a lot of it, but my pizza arrived. Also, I lied. I didn't order pizza. I ordered burgers from a pizza place. That's intellectual checkmate. Yeah, modern Soul of Jigoku, I think that's also where, like, T-Spark really has captured me. With, like, that's the risk I took wanting to, like, try out Adamus Machina and Diabattles X1 and King X Kaiser, because I was like, this feels like a big push. I want to know what this is like, and this big push feels so good. Like, I'm doing this because I'm excited, and it feels like they are swooping in. They're not like just doing, now we're doing Soul of Jigoku, but they're like, hey, we're gonna take another swing at what high end means, and really, really cool stuff. The real yapping streams are the ones at the end of other streams. That's what I'm trying to focus. That's why I'm trying to refocus and train what I'm doing. But with that said, I'm going to turn this on. And say, hey, thanks for checking out the stream. We opened a funny little guy. He looks terrible on the webcam, but he looks better than this in person. I'll say one more time. I don't know why, but that's just the nature of that plastic color, I guess. Tokusatsu Yamarin stream would be fun one day. I was thinking about that because, I mean, I'm gonna have finished, like, the Gaim, I already finished those. The Geats extras sooner than later, but I'm like, how do we do that for a stream? Like, do I just put the word "the spoiler stream" in the front? Because, like, I don't want people to, like, come in going like, oh, Kamen Rider, and I'm just like blowing the ending of Geats or something, and they're like, oh, because I was on Cat Site today when I couldn't sleep at like 3 in the morning, digging around for all the extra stuff I could find. I've now watched Punk Jack, and I've now watched the Revice Geats movie. I have not watched a single episode of Revice. Guess what? It's fine. I might have been shown something from the end of Revice, but it's so vague that, like, it actually doesn't really affect me that much. And the movie opens with Revi Iki literally just telling you everything you need to know about Revice. It's almost like they know, like, oh, people are here for Geats. Anyway, hi. I'm Iki. This is the cast of my show. This is who they are in relation to me. But yeah, that movie was pretty fun. I had to like kind of double remember where it was in the realm of Geats. But yeah, I got almost everything else piling up, so I'm gonna dig in there. Anyway, I might try that for a Yammerin stream, but I would definitely want to put like the word spoiler in gigantic letters on the thumbnail, because I don't want people to get like surprised who might have not watched it yet and want to catch it fresh. Anyway, I'll catch you all later. I'm gonna go cook dinner now and sustain myself biologically. So you stay safe out there. Take care of yourself best you can. Treat yourself if you can as best you can, and survive, or you're fired.
Let them come.